You had a fascinating graphic. I read the piece yesterday where you showed rents in major areas and indexed against each other, and San Francisco just falling off a cliff. That's that blue line that we are showing right now. What do you make of this massive real estate trend and swing? How's it going to impact the overall economic outlook?
Well, Brian, I mean, I think what's going on is what, kind of Diane just highlighted there, is that people are moving away from some of those West Coast and East Coast sort of cities. They're moving more into the middle. And as that happens, it's causing rents to come down in those cities. Now, is that going to have a big, major, macroeconomic impact? I mean, I don't think so. I think it's more of a micro sort of thing. I mean, I wouldn't read into this like there's a housing bubble going on in the United States right now. I mean, we're not back to where we were back in 2005. There's not overbuilding or anything like that. So it shouldn't have any major macro impacts, but it could have some impact in some of those particular cities.
Yeah, we get the construction numbers out today. Normally, Jay, I would pay them zero attention, but I put them on our big three events of the week because we could actually have bigger numbers, a record high number, over 1.44 trillion, as everybody's trying to build out homes to meet not just pandemic demand, but demographics are destiny. The first millennial will turn 40 years old this year. There's 80 or 85 million of them. How big is the demographic head or tailwind, I should say, on many parts of this economy as well?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we do look for housing to have another good year in 2021, because as you point out, the millennials are getting into their childbearing years right now. And it's great to have a 2-bedroom flat in Midtown Manhattan, when you're single. But now that you're having children, you're starting to see that those people starting to move out to the suburbs right now. And we think that, with mortgage rates remaining, relatively low this year, that will fuel another strong year for housing here.
So what's the most important thing in the next couple of days or weeks or months, Jay, that you and your team are going to be focused on squarely to give us some kind of a crystal ball as to where we're headed?
The pandemic. I mean, that's what it boils down to right now. It looks like we're going to get off to 2021 on a macro basis on a relatively weak note. We lost momentum over the last 2 months, and with some restrictions here. And so it really depends on what happens with the pandemic, in the coming weeks and months. As the vaccine rolls out, that's good news. That should lead to some reopening or more reopening later this year. But here in the near term, it's really going to depend upon the evolution of what's happening here with the pandemic. It all boils down, I think, to that.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.